Sayings of Muhammad of Self-Indulgence. 388. Muhammad asked his companions, "What are your opinions of the merits of that person who drinketh liquor, committeth adultery, and stealeth?" I'm sure the word has extramarital sex, broader than just adultery. "What should his punishment be?" They said, "God and his messenger know best." He said, "These are great sins, and the punishment for them very dire." The question was asked before the precepts in the Quran, in which these things are forbidden, descended. And in the Quran, we can see that some of the punishments are different than those in the Bible, as in not being death penalties. Of servants, 389. To those of your servants who please you, give you to eat what you eat thereof, and clothe them as yourself. But those who do not please you, part with them, and punish not God's creatures. 390. He will not enter paradise who behaveth ill to his slaves. The companion said, "O Apostle of God, have you not told us that there will be a great many slaves and orphans amongst your disciples?" He said, "Yes." "Then be kind to them as to your own children, and give them to eat of what you eat yourselves. The slaves that say their prayers are your brothers." 391. Zayd, Muhammad's servant, said, "I served Muhammad 10 years, and he never said oof to me, and never said, 'Why did you do so?' and never said, 'Why did you not do so?'" Of the sick. 392. There is not any Muslim who visiteth another in sickness in the forenoon, but that 70,000 angels send blessings upon him till the evening, and there is no one who visiteth the sick in the afternoon, but that 70,000 angels send blessings upon him till daybreak, and there will be a pardon for him in paradise. 393. Feed the hungry, and visit the sick, and free the captive, if he be unjustly confined. Assist any person oppressed, whether Muslim or non-Muslim. 394. Whoever visiteth a sick person, an angel calleth from heaven, "Be happy in the world, and happy be your walking, and take you a habitation in paradise." 395. Whoever visiteth a sick person always entereth, and swims in a sea of mercy until he sitteth down, and when he sitteth, he is drowned therein. 396. When you go to visit the sick, comfort his grief, and say, "You will get well and live long," because although this saying will not prevent what is predestined, it will solace his soul. 397. Verily God will say on the day of judgment, "O children of Adam, I was sick, and ye did not visit me." And the sons of Adam will say, "O our defender, how can we visit thee? For thou art the Lord of the universe, and art free from sickness." And God will say, "O men, such a one was sick, and you did not visit him." And God will say, "O children of Adam, I asked you for food, and you gave it me not." And the children of Adam will say, "O our patron, how could we give thee food, seeing thou art the cherisher of the universe, and art free from hunger and eating?" And God will say, "Such a one asked you for bread, and you did not give it him." And it's good to give people real bread, not this chemically treated garbage. But if that's all you have and it's something that people could eat, it's better than nothing, right? Of silence. 398. Much silence and a good disposition. There are no two works better than those of sin. 399. Can anyone walk through water without wetting his feet? The companions replied, no. Muhammad said, such is the condition of those of the world. They are not safe from sins. Of truth. 400. He is not of me, who, when he speaketh, speaketh falsely, who, when he promiseth, breaketh his promises, and for who, when trust is reposed in him, faileth his trust. 401. No man is true in the truest sense of the word, but he who is true in word, in deed, and in thought. 402. Strive always to excel in virtue and truth. 403. It is not worthy of a speaker of truth to curse people. 404. Appropriate to yourselves the truth. Avoid lying. 405. Say what is true, although it may be bitter and displeasing to people. Of understanding. 406. It is not a sixth or a tenth of a man's devotion which is acceptable to God, but only such portions thereof as he offereth with understanding and true devotional spirit. 407. Verily a man hath performed prayers, fasts, charity, pilgrimage, and all other good works, but he will not be rewarded except by the proportion of his understanding of usury. (408) The taker of usury, and the giver of it, and the writer of its papers, and the witness to it, are equal in crime. Of widows. 409. A giver of maintenance to widows and the poor is like a bestower in the way of God, an utterer of prayers all night, and a keeper of constant fast. 410. I and a woman whose color and cheeks shall have become black from toiling in the sun shall be near to one another in the next world, as my two fingers, and that is a handsome widow, whose color and cheeks have become black in bringing up her family. Of wives. 411. Admonish your wives with kindness. 412. A Muslim must not hate his wife, and if he be displeased with one bad quality in her, let him be pleased with another which is good. 413. Do you beat your own wife as you would a slave? That must you not do. I, Muawiyah bin Haida, said, O Apostle of God, what is my duty to my wife? He said, that you give her to eat as you eat yourself, and clothe her as you clothe yourself, and do not slap her in the face, nor abuse her, nor separate yourself from her in displeasure. And since we mentioned slaves, the last one listed here I don't think is among the rights of slaves. So the other ones are 415, which is a higher status than employees and how you treat them. Okay, that's big issues, but that's just part of it. 415. Give your wife good counsel, and if she has goodness in her, she will soon take it, and leave off idle talking, and do not beat your noble wife like a slave. 416. Muhammad said, beat not your wives. Then Omar came to the Rasulullah, messenger of God, and said, wives have got the upper hand of their husbands from hearing this. 417. He is the most perfect Muslim, whose disposition is best, and the best of you are they who behave best to their wives. 418. A virtuous wife is a man's best treasure. Of women. 419. Women are the twin halves of men. 420. The world and all things in it are valuable, but the most valuable thing in the world is a virtuous woman. 421. The best women are the virtuous, They are the most affectionate to infants and the most careful of their husband's property. Some narrations would say trust in general. 422. When a woman performeth the 5 times prayer and fasteth the month of Ramadan, and is chaste, and is not disobedient to her husband, then tell her to enter paradise by whichever door she liketh. 423. Verily, a great number of women are assembled near my family, complaining of their husbands, and those men who ill-treat their wives do not behave well. He is not of my way who teacheth a woman to stray. 424. Asma, daughter of Yazid, said, Victuals were brought to Muhammad, and he put them before some of us women were present, and said, Eat ye. But notwithstanding we were hungry, we said, We have no inclination. Muhammad said, O women, do not mix hunger with lies. 425. Whoever doeth good to girls, it will be a curtain to him from hellfire. And I think we're referring to girls, not women, because in my culture, if you don't have wrinkles, or even if you do and you're under 30 or something, and people notice that, they refer to you as a child, but girl and boy in the Islamic sense is not a reference to a child. It's not a reference to a young adult. It's a reference to a child. Pre-adolescent. 426. Whoever befriendeth 2 girls till they come of age will be in the next world along with me, like my 2 fingers joining each other. Take care of is, I think, what the narration says. Who's the patron, the wali, the guardian. I'm more familiar with the sayings that say that. 427, and the same thing about this next generation. Whoever befriendeth 3 daughters or 3 sisters, and teacheth them manners, and is affectionate to them till they come of age, may God apportion paradise for him. 428. Whoever hath a daughter, and doth not bury her alive, or scald her, or prefer his male children to her, may God bring him into paradise. 429. Shall I not point out to you the best of virtues? It is your doing good to your daughter, when she is returned to you, having been divorced by her husband. 430. God enjoins you to treat women well, for they are your mothers, daughters, and aunts. 431. The rights of women are sacred. See that women are maintained in the rights assigned to them. 432. Do not prevent your women from coming to the mosque. And I think masajid, it may be in the plural in that narration, or maybe there's certain things needed to be said more than once and in different ways. And remember that the practice of female infanticide was common enough at this time. And on top of that, look at what's going on now. In America, in China, in Russia, in much of the first world, and even other parts of the world, the female infant, the female fetuses are targeted in terms of abortion. If somebody hears that they're going to give birth to a female, they're even more likely to have an abortion. Of the world. 433. The love of the world is the root of all evil. 434. The world is a prison for the faithful, but a paradise for unbelievers. 435. The world is a magician, greater than Harut and Marut, and you should avoid it. 436. The world is sweet in the heart and green to the eye, and verily God hath brought you after those that went before you. Then look to your actions, and abstain from the world and its wickedness. 437. The world is as a prison, and a famine to Muslimin, smitters. And when they leave it, you may say they leave famine and a prison. 438. Be in the world like a traveler, or like a passer on, and reckon yourself as of the dead. 439. Cursed is this world, and cursed is all that is in this world, except the remembrance of God, and that which aideth thereto. And that's part of the thing, is that the world, life, is inherently imbibed spiritually. But it's not like you are being spiritual unless your, consciousness allows you to stay there.